What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Skid Reviews. We're back after a very long time because I haven't been able to get much time off from my day job, but hopefully this time I'll be able to appear or pump out videos more consistently. Although I've said that many times before, and today we're going to be doing a review of Axone, which is Nicholas Kharkonger's slice of life comedy slash drama slash satire. The movie had some sporadic screenings since October of last year. I think it screened at the London Film Festival as well. So there has been a lot of chatter about this movie since last year. It's finally out on Netflix now, and I gave it a watch a couple of times. With this movie being perhaps the first mainstream cinematic representation of Northeast people and the issues faced by people from the Northeast, those people who especially live in other parts of the country, there's a lot of things attached to it. And with the amount of chatter that this movie generated over the course of about half a year now, there are or were a lot of expectations regarding this movie. So did it live up to them? Here's our review. At first notice, Nicholas Kharkonger's Axone is a quaint comedy/drama that follows a group of young friends navigating a harrowing day as they tackle obstacle after obstacle to organize a friend's wedding. All this with the struggle to cook Axone, a delicacy food item from the northeast of India, as the centerpiece of the day's troubles. Sounds simple enough, but what Axone also does is represent probably the first mainstream cinematic portrayal of issues on race, identity, ethnicity, language, and culture faced by the people from the northeast of India or anyone with East Asian Mongoloid features in the rest of the country. While the movie is well shot, the acting is competent, and the plot is engaging enough, it is the themes and the subtext that Axone depends upon to go beyond its slice-of-life satire comedy genre to try and address much larger and more serious issues. From a cinematographic perspective, the film is perfectly decent. However, the film does have its problems too. Identity politics and race relations are difficult subjects to deal with, especially if you're making a movie under the ambit of a mainstream production house. It tries to be subtle and nuanced in dealing with these issues. The writing, while good in some parts, is also at times guilty of generalizations, something it tries to speak against. Also, the way it handles conflict resolution was disappointing for me. The film is led by Upasana, played by Shayani Gupta, and Chanbi, played by Lin Laishram, with supporting roles by a host of other characters, chief among them Zoram, portrayed by Tenzin Dalha, and Bandang, played by Lanuakam Ao. Shayani Gupta and Tenzin Dalha in particular steal the show with their acting chops and their on-screen chemistry together. The complexities of their romantic relationship, compounded by Zoram's previous relationship with Meenam, played by Asanla Jamir, engages us at first. However, the conflict is resolved way too easily, and it's just not satisfying enough in terms of plot resolution. The same goes for the relationship between Chanvi and Bandang, with the latter's inner demons resulting out of a traumatic experience from his past, one that many from the Northeast have faced in other parts of the country. Also, it's quite ironic that the Naga character, Bandang, among this plethora of personalities from the Northeast, is the tortured, lonely soul with an artistic bent of mind. Interesting given our history and how we perceive ourselves to be as a people. Speaking of Nagaland, Mernla Imsong and Asanla Jamir, along with the aforementioned Lanuakam Ao, represent the state. Mernla Imsong doesn't really have much to do but be goofy and drunk the whole time, but she does pretty well with what she was given to work with. Asanla Jamir meanwhile plays the character Meenam, that acts as a device to bring the different narrative threads home at the end, and she does an admirable job. Shiv, played by Rohan Joshi on the other hand, is a caricature of the other from the Northeast perspective. His comedic chops deserve a lot of applause, and the film uses the Shiv character, especially at the end, to make its point that racial stereotyping is not a one-way street. That is definitely something which many people will have different opinions about, and I have been way too sheltered to make an informed judgment on that. I'm gonna leave that job to professional critics. While overtly, the plot seems to revolve around cooking pork with Axone in a place where people are not familiar with and averse to cuisine from the Northeast, the subtext of identity conflict is what Kharkonger tries to drive home. The depiction of daily life may not be on point, but the general tone of the film is relatable for people from this region of the country who have spent some time living in other parts of the country. And here comes Adil Hussein's character, who has the most subtle role in the movie. But this thread in the narrative was what intrigued me the most. Dressed as the stereotypical Indian patriarch, he has no dialogue, but his constant gaze at what Zoram does throughout the film represents how people who do not fit the perceived Indian look find themselves under constant scrutiny and surveillance about every single thing they do. In the end, the film, despite its pitfalls, is definitely worth a watch. And allegations of tokenism aside, Kharkonger's efforts come out as genuine, and representation does matter. So there you go, that was our review of Axone. I do recommend that everyone give it a watch, especially if you're someone from the Northeast and who has had experience living outside this region. It does have its failings. People might not be satisfied at how it tried to speak on certain issues and stuff. I had some problems in some areas as well, but what I came away from this movie was that the intent was genuine. I could feel that it was genuine from the filmmakers as well as the cast. All I can say is that I really liked some parts, and this was the first mainstream representation of these issues, so that's a good step for me. But make up your own minds, man. Give it a watch. If you liked it, you liked it. If you didn't, you didn't. So Axone, have you watched it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if you want to see more content, which hopefully I'll be able to put up more, subscribe if you want.